First of all, before I start this, I would like to thank everyone who's been patiently waiting for me to get some evidence up in the air and proved all these conspiracies, entrapments, withholding evidence and that. But thank you lot for being patient and waiting for me. It's going to happen now, all the way through. It'll take a couple of sittings to do it, but we will do it and we will get there. I don't know if they turn up or they want to settle out a call, but we're ready for anything they want. And it's not me running away from them, i.e. the police, the CPS, Lord Chief Justice, Home Secretaries, Prime Ministers. It's them running away from me. I've even got paperwork I'm going to put up from Tony Blair thanking me for the book, and yeah, some other bits. They'll go on the camera anyway, but it won't be on this sitting. It'll be in a sitting in maybe 2 more sittings, but it'll be up there. For you to be able to follow easy, if you just draw a cross like you see on there, and then you put on the top Mackenzie, and as you're looking at it, it'll be on your right, Shearborn. On the left, it'll be Bishop and Barrymore. Forget that side of the cross, we're going to work on this side for a minute. We might have to jump over the other side and go straight back. On the bottom, as you can see, you'll see D.I. Leach, D.S. Morrison, Paul Condom, Commissioner of Police, and David Gibson Lee, barrister for the CPS. It'll just give you a few minutes to do that and you'll follow it much easier. Right, I was arrested in 1985, the 18th of, I think it's February, at Heston service station, taken to Hounslow police station and charged with possession of 5 stolen paintings. And the police say they was left to Shearborn in Mackenzie's will. Well, it took me 20 years to get the will, and it was done by Underwoods, and it was lodged in the Royal Courts of Justice, not at Somerset House. I even paid for Somerset House to do a search for this will, and it wasn't there. It's not lodged in the new place they got now, up the Kingsway. So I went down to, when I got this letter from Underwoods, I don't know who sent it, just a letter in the post. I went down to the Royal Courts of Justice, and I went to the desk and I asked where the will part is. She said, they sent you to the wrong part. You want the annex. Go up Chancery Lane here, stop when you get to Holborn High Road, look slightly to the left, you'll see a big white building. Go to the 5th floor, and that's where all wills and that are kept. So I went up there, see a little old boy, I think he helped Noah count the animals on the ark, and he's that white haired, that old. Anyway, I showed him it, he said, yeah, we've got that. I said, could I get a copy? He said, yeah. I said, how much? He said, £5 copy. So I said, right, is it possible I can have 5? He said, yeah. Then he got a phone call, and he was called out, but he called the girl, like, we're on this window, there's a door there, and there's another window where you pay. He called her over, he told her what I wanted, so she done it. A few minutes later, we had to go to the other window, because that's where the money had to be paid in. And I put £25 down. She said, what's that for? I said, 5 copies of the will, £5 each, you know. She said, no. The first one's £5. All the others after that are £1. I said, oh, you better give me 9 then. Copies. She said, well, if you want to come back, you can pick them up, or we can send them to you. And you can pay the bits, a little bit of post. I said, I'll do that. The minute I got the wills and proved that Mackenzie had not left these paintings to Shearborn, I sent them to the CPS, well, everyone from Jack Straw upwards, no, Blunkett, the lot of them. Theresa May, when she was Home Secretary, she even knew when she was Prime Minister. Right? So, the only one who doesn't know is our Prime Minister at present. Anyway, they're all running away. Go to this department, go to that department. Go. Then they put me in front of CCRC. I went up there, in Birmingham it is, showed them the will, and I had a fellow there, he's an ex-copper, he's denying it, but he is. And he's only qualified for legal manager, not a legal advisor. And that's what you should have to do a case, and take it to the commissioner. But he took it and they allowed it. Anyway, they said you've got to go back, you can't go anywhere else. Can't I? That's fine. Then I've gone all through the system, well, several times. These paintings have never ever been stolen, except when the police seized them at Heston service station and proceeded to steal them from me, yeah. The crime report and crime numbers, they refused to give me. Got them in the end, everyone's different. And then they sent them to auction. One's sitting in the Home Office at the moment, Angelica Cuthman, First Lady Artist. I don't know where the rest are at this particular stage. But they was put to auction. When the police put something from police stolen and returned, it either goes back to the insurance company if it's insured, otherwise they have to give a crime report and crime number. So they fabricated a crime report and crime number to get them sold through the auctions. All this is provable. So let's get on with how they got me on an entrapment with conspiracy with members of the public. I had a shop in Garrett Lane opposite Prince Emery Estate. And that's at Wandsworth End. And if you go round the bend, under the arch, come to a set of lights, Barclay Bank on the right, and just up a few shops, there's a big double shop there. Carpet shop it was. That was mine as well. It had 4 flats above it, which was let out. Anyway, I met a fella named Mark Hughes. He done a bit of ducking and diving, But what we didn't know was a police informer. I met him in the Castle pub at Tooting. He had the stables opposite. And he had a couple of police officers in there. What they own privately. Anyway, he said, listen, I know people who deal in art. Is it bent? I said, no, I've got all the paperwork and everything. Well, it's been through column body, British Customs, American Customs, an attorney out in America, he put it through an art gallery, they checked it out, still never come up stolen. And the man who sent them out, who we'll come to in a while, he wanted the money, he was a bit hard up. So he brought them back. All through the customs again. Everything 100% legal. There's affidavits I'm going to put up and show you all. So he said, would you mind if I ask about my clients? I said, no, not at all. Do what you've got to do. But they're not going out away from me. Whatever happens, they stay with me till I get the money. Then they can go with all the paperwork I've got, which proves they're not stolen. Anyway, a couple of days later he rang me, he says, I've got a fellow interested in these paintings. He said, but he won't come into London, he don't like London. Would I meet him at Heston service station? Well, straight away, you know, you don't meet at Heston service, you don't meet on any motorway. You're carrying something that's bent, don't go on the motorway, because you can shut it off in minutes and leave you running up and down the motorway till you run out of fuel, then you've got. But I've got no worries about going on the motorway, because I've got all the legal documents. And I said to Mark, I'll bring the paintings, I'll show him, he can check them out, and if he wants them, he can have them, and I'll give him all the proper paperwork. Until then, so it's all right, I'll meet you at Heston. I think it was a day or two before we was going on Friday the 18th. A day or two before he had done my car in. It's off the road. Can I borrow one of your courtesy cars or your driving school cars? Yeah, of course you can. I said, but you can't drive it, Mark. I'm going to have to hire a driver to drive you. He said, that's right. I said, all right. Well, I was picking up a new car at Banham Autos early that morning. I said, meet me there, and we'll go and pick up the driver. It was Robert Roper, driving for me on a few occasions. He can drive you there. I'll go to the shop, do the banking, and I'll be there just after you. Anyway, that's what happened. I took them down to Banham Autos. You'll see all the evidence anyway. And Robert and Mark Hughes set off. I flipped down my shop, said to the manager, look, pay the staff out with what you've got in the safe, and I'll give you yours tomorrow. I said, okay, that's fine. So off I went, down round Wandsworth, come to Lombard Road, turn left, down there towards Westbridge Road, when you've got Old Chelsea, turn left to the Raven pub there, down Church Road, come out of Battersea Bridge Road, turn left, and opposite Heston service station I see Robert robber's brother, Dennis. So I pulled over, I called him, I said, why are you walking from here to Tooting, where you live? Why are you walking? He said, I've got no money. I said, yeah. Do you want the money? Bus fare. So I said, oh, you can. I'm going to meet Robert now. And he's bringing a car back for me. He can run you home and then take the car back in the morning. So he said, oh, I'll come with you. And he had to sit in the back of the car because his arm keeps slipping out. So anyway, that's what happened. I pulled in at Heston service station. I see Robert parked up over by the restaurant place there. So I went and pulled over by him. I looked and I said, well, where's Mark Hughes? I said, oh, he's gone to look for his client. I said, all right. One of you, Dennis, you stay by the cars for a minute. But you better stay in all, Robert, with them paintings in there. I'll go and get the copies and do you want a cheeseburger or something to eat? Anyway, I went and got them. On the way back, the police was on us, all round us. And, you know, I'd seen them on there, like a load of builders dressed up in white overalls, trying to play football, making themselves look silly as they are. And they was round us. Showed their warrants. Whose car is it? I said, mine. So they said, what's in that box? I said, paintings. So he said, what are you doing here? I'm meeting a client. Oh, yeah. I said, yeah, I am. Who's that car? I said, mine. Well, it's not mine. I've just rented it because I was having another new car delivered today and it never turned up. So I went down Bannermall and hired that. And he's the driver, Robert. All legal. Here's the paperwork. I had the paperwork with me. Anyway, he looked in the back, and you'll see it when I put it up. There's a little tear. He said, oh yeah, 5 antique paintings stolen. Well, he must have X-ray eyes because I'm wrapped up in blanket. I've even got the original box. That'll be put up as well as an evidence. So, today, I'm just going to run through this little bit here. Show you that the police knew that they wasn't left to Sherborne in Mackenzie's will and totally and utterly ignored it. In actual fact, there was a conspiracy between them and the CPS. And that also would include David Gibson Lee, the barrister. He was bent anyway. He won't, I can say what I like about him, he won't face me. Because he knows I know the truth about him. Anyway, so we're going to run from the top to there, to there. On Morrison's statement, he's made 2 statements. He's made 1 to 10, where he says, on Wednesday 20, this is dated October, 25th of October. On Wednesday the 25th of September 85, at about 8:30 a.m. in company with Detective Inspector Leach, I went to meet Constable Winster. Yeah, we've got to ignore this first one, the first 10 pages, because that comes under here. So we'll go to his other one, his 1 to 31, and on page 29, I'll hold this, I don't know if you can see it, but there, in the red marking, he's arrested Brazil and taken him to the station, questioned him. This is the second time he's arrested him on this. It says, will it surprise you to know that I have seen Mackenzie's will, and Derek Sherborne is one of the 3 executors, and there are no bequests for 50 grand to anyone. Right, that proves that on that date he made this, which I can easily show you. The police had already seen the will. I had all this marked out. I say wasting time. We're going to go through all this anyway. I can do it. I'm just going to show you the outline. Tell me about polio and about. We'll have to come back to that bit. I'll go through it again. We'll do it on another setting. But he's seen the will, and the paintings weren't in it. They couldn't have been in it, because Sherborne never had the paintings. Never, ever had them paintings. I'm just trying to get an outline of the case so you can follow it easier when I put it up there, and prove all these bunch of liars and cowards as they are, and entrapments with them all. Now, had my solicitor, who Mark Hughes got, and Nigel Dean, when he got the barrister, Jeremy Dean, he was a young barrister then, but he was good. Had they done disclosure into discovery, they would have seen this. I wouldn't have gone to prison. I'd have had my paintings back, and they wouldn't be paying interest on my paintings out of public money every month. Instead, they'd rather pay the money than me go to court and then come and face me, because they never ever turn up. I should get judgment by default. I never get that. I will put it through another department. Don't tell me to intad your house with police corruption squad. As far as I know, there's only been one good copper there. Right? And I got a day's parole, and you don't get a day's parole to go and see the police and your solicitor, but I got a day's parole to go and see them, and that'll also be going up. So what I'm going to do is just get all this ready. The BBC knew about it, because Chris Summers, I don't know if you can see that, he was their crime reporter, no, and he made inquiries about Sherborne, and apparently when they say he had an armed robbery at Full Manor Lodge in Bedfont. He was sitting in his front room with his friend, and you had to come up a big drive. What he didn't say, and Chris found out, and I got a statement from him, he had approximately 11 armed robberies prior to that. This alleged one that we were supposed to have done, I've got the paintings of. Now, you've got to use your own imagination for that. If you've had 11 armed robberies, nothing's going to get through that. And it's £100 million. You ain't going to get that in a car. Not else you know what you're getting. You need a van or something. He's not expecting a car, a van or nothing. Just him and his friend, shall we say, was there. But it wasn't. His mother was bedridden upstairs with a button to the police, the ambulance, the fire brigade, the lot.